Great way to end right before vacation. And that link's in the chat. And with that, we are ready to rock and roll. Here we go. This is Prizm Baseball, a one-box pick your team. Let's go hunting for that lava flow. 2, 4, 6. Love to break those up right in half right there. We have a little Wyatt Madison of the Arizona Diamondbacks headed to Joseph, followed by Ketel Marte of the Diamondbacks. Then we have a Yerman Mercedes of the Chicago White Sox going to Sean, followed up by Adonis Medina of the Philadelphia Phillies headed to Sean as well. Trent Grisham of the San Diego Padres, followed by Kyle Lewis of the Mariners. Mike Sorka of the Braves. An Illumination Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians going to Cynthia. Then we have Kirby Puckett of the Minnesota Timberwolves and a Mickey Moyniak out of 75 RC of the Philadelphia Phillies going to Sean as well. A red Jeff Bagwell of the Houston Astros. And then we have an emergent Miguel Amaya of the Chicago Cubs going to Michael. And Michael, a newbie with BreakTraders, which rolls me into welcoming Michael with the Cubs, Ryan with the Reds, James with the Dodgers, Zach with the Brewers, Scott with the Pirates, Zevi with the Rays, Robert with the Rangers, and Jake with the Blue Jays. Y'all can use promo code NEWBT for 20% off. 20% off your first purchase at BreakTraders.com. Then we have a Keegan Aiken RC of the Baltimore Orioles, followed by Mr. Tim Anderson of the White Sox, Anthony Rizzo of the Cubs, an Estevan Florial RC of the New York Yankees going to Leo, followed by Ryan Mountcastle of the Baltimore Orioles headed to Sean. Then we have George Brett of the Kansas City Royals, Sammy Sosa of the Cubs, an Illumination Pete Alonso of the New York Mets headed to Bruce, followed up by Luis Robert of the Chicago White Sox. And here we go, a rookie signatures, Shane McCallahan of the Tampa Bay Rays. And that is going to be going to Zevi. Followed up by TJ Antwone of the Cincinnati Reds headed to Ryan. And then we have a little stargazing, Garrett Cole of the New York Yankees. We have a little Isaac Paredes RC of the Detroit Tigers headed to Sean, followed by Randy Arozarena of the Tampa Bay Rays, Ozzie Smith of the Cardinals, Craig Biggio of the Houston Astros, Jonathan Stever of the Chicago White Sox going to Sean as well, Cody Whitley of the St. Louis Cardinals going to Leo, followed up by Josh Hader of the Brewers, and Andres Jimenez of the Cleveland Guardians going to Cynthia. Then we have a fearless Paul Goldschmidt of the St. Louis Cardinals headed to Leo, followed by Willie Adams of the Tampa Bay Rays, a fearless Casey Mize of the Detroit Tigers right there, and that is going to Sean, followed up by a fireworks Fernando Tatis Jr. and baby, you're my firework. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Reminds me when I worked at a summer camp. One of the bunk I counseled for was the soft ones, and we made our group song out of that song. Jonathan India RC of the Cincinnati Reds going to Ryan, followed by Jesus Luzardo of the Oakland Athletics, Jeff Bagwell of the Houston Astros, Kyle Hendricks of the Cubs. We have a little Daz Cameron of the Detroit Tigers going to Sean as well. Nelson Cruz of the Minnesota Twins, Bo Bichette of the Toronto Raptors, Ken Griffey Jr. Old School of the Seattle Mariners going to Mark, Following that up with JT Realmuto of the Phillies. Then we have a neon orange Willie McCovey of the San Francisco Giants going to Sean, and that's out of 100. Followed up by a red RC, and that's Sherton Apostle of the Texas Rangers, headed to Robert. And then Mr. Joe Adele of the Los Angeles Angels headed to Lucas with that rookie class. Baseball, that's the thing that so confuses me. Like, Mickey Moniak's the #1 pick from 2016, yet his rookie card is in 2021. Ugh. Trevor Larnach of the Minnesota Twins. Trevor Larnach of the Minnesota Twins right there to David, followed by Frank Thomas of the White Sox. Pavin Smith of the Arizona Diamondbacks headed to Joseph, followed by Jorge Guzman of the Miami Marlins. Then we have a little Sam Huff of the Texas Rangers heading to Robert, followed by Mike Trout of the Angels. A Jahmai Jones of the Baltimore Orioles going to Sean as well, followed by a fearless Ramon Laureano of the Oakland Athletics. Then we have Mr. Jorge Oña of the San Diego Padres. Jorge Oña of the San Diego Padres going to Phil. Following that up with a Jonathan Stever RC of the Chicago White Sox, and that's a silver headed to Sean, followed by Baby, You're My Firework, Charlie Blackmon of the Colorado Rockies, and that is going to Joe. T-Man finishing off all the Revolution basketball and break 1351, meaning there's only teams available on 1352. And here we go. Our rookie autograph is Alex Baum. Alex Bombaram of the Philadelphia Phillies, and that is out of 115. We have Edward Kalina of the Minnesota Twins going to David, followed by Anderson Tejada of the Texas Rangers going to Robert, followed up by Rafael Devers of the Boston Red Sox. Tristan McKenzie of the Cleveland Guardians going to Cynthia. Then we got Ian Anderson of the Atlanta Braves. Ian Anderson of the Braves to Sean as well. Followed by Bryce Harper of the Phillies. Chris Paddock of the Padres. Luis Alexander Basabe of the San Francisco Giants with RC. Followed up by a Mike Trout stained glass of the Los Angeles Angels going to Lucas. Then we have Clayton Kershaw of the Dodgers, followed by a little Joey Bart of the San Francisco Giants headed to Sean as well. And then a Nick Montegrill of the Chicago White Sox. That's a rookie class headed to Sean. And we're just about halfway through this break. Carlos Correa of the Astros, Jim Thome of the Guardians. A little I don't want no scrub. Andre is a scrub who can't get no love from me of the Houston Astros headed to Sean, followed by Braylon Marquez of the Cubs. Then we have Fernando Tatis Jr., Jeff McNeil of the New York Mets, Yu Darvish of the Padres, and Illumination Vlad Guerrero Jr. of the Toronto Blue Jays, Yordan Alvarez of Houston, a little red mojo Mike Trout of the Los Angeles Angels, followed by a red Jesus Luzardo of the Oakland Athletics, and a sluggers AJ Pollock of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Larry Walker of the Rockies, a little Zach McKinstry RC of the Los Angeles Dodgers going to James, followed by Luis Diaz of the Miami Marlins going to Ron. Then we have Luis Campusano of the San Diego Padres going to Phil, followed up by Gleyber Torres of the New York Yankees. Ricky Henderson of the Oakland Athletics, a little Kyle Cody RC of the Rangers, and then we have a fearless Dylan Carlson of the St. Louis Cardinals headed to Leo, a Christian Yelich of the Brewers, and then we're going to have a Dalton Jeffries rookie autograph of the Oakland Athletics, and that is headed to Sean. Following that up, we have the Silver Pete Alonso and a championship stage Clayton Kershaw. We got 4 packs left in this one. Spencer Howard RC of the Philadelphia Phillies to get things kicking off. Then we got Trey Turner of the Nationals, a Jared Kelenic RC of the Mariners, Austin Meadows of the Tampa Bay Rays, and Dalton Jeffries RC of the Oakland Athletics, followed by Brandon Bielak of the Houston Astros going to Sean. Then we have Mitchell White of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and that is going to be going to James. Vlad Guerrero Jr. of the Toronto Blue Jays, a little old school Harmon Killebrew of the Minnesota Timberwolves, followed by Jose Abreu of the Chicago White Sox. Then we have Jose Altuve of the Houston Astros going to Sean, followed up by a Lumber Inc. of the Yordan Alvarez of the Houston Astros as well. Yes, I will take a break right after this, and I will update on the PSA cards, but we do have the first 3 in-house. The rest of the ones are on the value service, and our submitter said he believes they will be in later this fall. We have Daniel Lynch of the Kansas City Royals, followed by Alex Verdugo of the Boston Red Sox, a Jared Olivia of the Pittsburgh Pirates headed to Scott, Ryan Castellani of the Colorado Rockies going to Joseph. Then we have Christian Pache RC of the Atlanta Braves headed to Sean as well. A Will Crow of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Headed to Scott. Then we have Mike Piazza of the New York Yankee Mets, followed by a fearless Ketel Marte of the Arizona Diamondbacks, followed up by Dean Kremer of the Baltimore Orioles going to Sean right there. Then we have a blue Mojo Garrett Crochet RC of the Chicago White Sox going to Sean, followed by a red TJ Antoine of the Cincinnati Reds headed to Ryan, and a stargazing Trevor Bauer of the Los Angeles Dodgers going to James. Jack Morris of the Twins, Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Braves, Zach Gallen of the Diamondbacks, Trevor Story of the Rockies, a little Taylor Jones of the Houston Astros, Taylor Jones RC of the Astros, followed by Randy Johnson of the Diamondbacks, a Chris Bubik of the Kansas City Royals RC, followed up by Illumination Freddie Freeman of the Atlanta Braves going to Sean as well, a Seth Romeo of the Washington Nationals, and then we're going to have that snakeskin out of 50, Mike Piazza of the New York Mets headed to Bruce, followed by a Jonathan India Red RC of the Cincinnati Reds, and then a rookie class, Devi Garcia of the New York Yankees going to Leo. Francisco Lindor of the Mets, Blake Schnall of the Padres, an Alex Manoah RC of the Toronto Blue Jays headed to Jake, followed up by Tucker Davidson of the Atlanta Braves going to Sean. Then we have Nolan Arenado of the St. Louis Cardinals, Robin Yount of the Brewers, Brady Singer of the Kansas City Royals going to Sean, followed up by Pete Alonso of the Mets. Then we have an Illumination Buster Posey of the San Francisco Giants going to Sean, followed up by Will Craig of the Pittsburgh Pirates RC. Then we have an Albert Pujols blue of the Los Angeles Angels right there, going to Lucas. Followed up by an emergent Nick Lodolo of the Cincinnati Reds, and that is going to Ryan. Here we go, our rookie rundown. We have the emergent Nick Lodolo of the Reds, the rookie class Devi Garcia of the Yankees, the red Jonathan India of the Cincinnati Reds, TJ Antoine of the Cincinnati Reds, a blue mojo Garrett Crochet of the Chicago White Sox, the fearless Dylan Carlson of the St. Louis Cardinals, Nick Montegrill of the Chicago White Sox, followed by a blue Joey Bart of the Giants, Jonathan Stever Silver of the Chicago White Sox, Joe Adell, rookie class of the Los Angeles Angels, a red shirt and apostle of the Texas Rangers, a Casey Mize Fearless of the Detroit Tigers, a silver TJ Antoine of the Reds, Miguel Amaya Emergent of the Cubs, and Mickey Moyniak out of 75 of the Philadelphia Phillies. And that one is going to be going to Sean. And now on to our featured cards. We have our 2 silver rookie autographs, and then we have the out of 1/15, and that is going to be Alex Ram of the Philadelphia Phillies to Sean, Dalton Jeffries of the Oakland Athletics to Sean, and Shane McCallahan of the Tampa Bay Rays going to Zevi. And with that, we are done with break number 1340.